Hello and welcome to the Easily Excitable podcast. My name is Tom, and with me this week is Derek. Hey Derek, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing alright, man. I'm doing alright. This week, Rachel should be heading over, so when this podcast comes out, she'll be here and the two of us will be heading to Paris. Yay!
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going on a big old adventure. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. Unsurprisingly.
That, made it really quick. I didn't realize how quick or short time that was.
Well, yeah, it's been, I don't know, nearly 5 months since I was over in the States. So it's like, we haven't seen each other in that amount of time. And it's just like, oh God, this is coming up. And yeah, it's kind of snuck up on me as well because I've been like real busy at work. And it's just been like, oh my God, it's here already. And there's still got stuff to do, but yeah, I'm really excited that she's coming over, and yeah, it should be a good time.
And Paris is I'm assuming it's a alright place to visit. I mean, it's only Paris.
Oh, I mean, don't say that near Rachel, because she lived there for 1.5 years, I think. In 2 different stints, I think. And yeah, she's like, it's one of her favouriteest places in the world, so yeah. But I've never been to Paris, so yeah. I'm interested to go.
Yeah, I'll take note next time I'm in the Europe area to drop by and give her my notes on how I feel on that.
So yeah, I'm real looking forward to visiting Paris for the first time. But yeah, that's cool. It's been a while since I've spoken to you, and since I've last spoken to you, you've got a new or 2 new jobs.
Technically, I've had 3 new jobs, but I left one of them. I worked so the first one I got was a host at Denny's, just because my buddy works there, and I was like, I need something.
Yeah.
So I started working there. Then my other buddy, Jacob, if you remember him at RTX,
yeah.
He's a manager at a local pizza place here, and he was like, hey, we need a dishwasher. And I was like, hey, I'll do that. I like pizza. And then I got an offer at a warehouse for a full-time job. So I dropped Denny's and working a full-time job. So I start at 4. No, I start at 6 in the morning and get off at 2:30.
Okay.
And then nights and weekends are at the pizza place.
Fair enough. You're kind of on East Coast time for working hours, aren't you?
Yeah. No, when I told the group that, they're like, oh, or Rachie was definitely like, oh, so you're on my work schedule now. I was like, yeah, I hate waking up at 4:30 every day, but it's a little bit, it's helping a little bit because it feels a little bit more energized by the time I normally wake up. So
yeah. Yeah, I found that recently. I've been trying to wake up at 6 a.m. every day, or set an alarm for between 6 and half 6 every day. I know that's not as early, but by the time it gets to 6 here, it's already quite light and bright. And yeah, it's just you wake up and it's already sunny, and you're just yeah, well, I might as well get up because it's already light. But that's way different to you. But yeah, I'm feeling by the time I get to work, which is 8 o'clock at the moment, 8:30, I'm already well ready for the day, and yeah, I've had plenty of time to do stuff, and the day just seems to go by nicely.
Yeah. And then also me sleeping in now is until 7, and I'm I remember when sleeping in was until 10.
Yeah, I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. and I was just but it's a Saturday, what am I doing?
Exactly.
But Rachel hadn't even gone to sleep, so I was like, Rachel, you were still awake. And I was 1 a.m. Her time, so she was might have been playing Slime Ranch. I'm fair enough. Absolutely can't blame you there.
Gotta do priorities.
Yeah. So yeah. How are the jobs? Are they good? Are you enjoying them?
They're good. The warehouse one is basically for a women's clothing online site, so I deal with the returns. So when a customer returns something, I open the package, make sure everything's there, mark it if there's any manufacturer damage or if there's customer damage and all that jazz. I was actually hired on as a folder, so I was the person after my job so I would fold them and then package them back up. But like the second day, they're like, "Hey, we're moving you up to a better position." And I was like, "Okay," which is funny because like he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, have you taken your lunch yet?" I was like, "Oh no, I was about to take it in 15 minutes." He's like, "All right, when you get back from your lunch, clean up your area, pack up your stuff. You and I were gonna have a talk." And I was like, "What did I do?"
Oh
like, why
no!
I was like,
"That's
why
a terrible way to tell you you're doing a bigger job."
And like everyone around me is like, "It's your second day, right?" I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What did you do?" I was like, "I don't know."
Oh man!
And like he was like walking away, probably got like 15 feet away. He's like turns around, and is like, "I just realized how bad that sounded. You are not in trouble. You're not fired or anything. I'm just gonna teach you something new." And I was like, "Yeah, don't say it like that next time."
Oh man, that's just yeah. Never lead with that. Just oh dear.
But no, that's good. I've already made a couple like coworker friends there, and everyone's super nice and welcoming. Awesome. The pizza place is nice because it's all local, so most of the people are from my town. Mm-hmm. It's funny because they're like, you go in there and you like see the people working there, and they're all like college kids, and they look like in a good way, they look like these college kids who are like you would see on TV. Like if have you seen that movie Neighbors or Neighbors 2?
No.
Basically imagine the co-stars that would be in a movie with Zac Efron as his friends.
Oh, fair enough.
They're all good looking and everything, all like super tall and really good, like in shape. And I'm like, dang, I have nothing in common with these people because I'm not a college kid, so I probably don't go to parties as much. I watch anime, I play video games and all that jazz. The first thing I walk in, they're like, "Oh, so do you watch My Hero Academia too?" Because we're all in this episode. I was like, "Oh snap!"
Nice.
So it was not. I felt a little bit bad for judging them by the looks or anything, but it was like, it took me by a good surprise. So
that's cool.
The team there has been also very welcoming and everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, oh god, my brain just shut down. That's unfavourable. I've got a new employee at work that's been there for like 2.5 months. Oh no, probably just over 3 months now. No, he's been there 2 months because he started on March. And yeah, was it yesterday or was it Thursday? I don't know. One of the last 2 days, my boss has been off with broken foot, and he was in this week for like the first time in 4 months or so. So it's the first time my new employee was meeting my boss. So it's just like, yes, he is my boss, which means he's also your boss, and this is the first time you're meeting. So here, you two talk about stuff. I'm going to leave you, and I'm just going to go and do other work that needs doing at the moment. So it's really interesting that I've hired someone and my boss hasn't met him until like 2 months after, which is real weird, like chain of events. So yeah, and yeah, he just needed to get a gauge of like how well he's working and how well he's fitting in, because he's just had to go by my word so far that he's doing okay. But
yeah, no, that's what I've been doing, is just basically my buddies recommended to them, to their bosses, like, hey, he just has good work ethic and has had a job for X amount of years, so he should be good. And Jacob especially, he like stuck his neck out for me, and I guess like before the interview started, like after I was done the interview at the pizza place, I was like texting him. I was like, hey, I thought it went really well. Like I was nervous, but I thought it went really well. And like later on, he messaged me. He's like, yeah, they decided to hire you before the interview started just because of how much they liked you and everything. I was like, that's good. So that's a little bit more pressure than I was wanting, but I'm still working there, so I feel like I'm doing something good.
Yeah. It sounds real good anyway. So yeah. Sounds like things have. I don't want to say sounds like things have gotten better for you, but yeah.
I mean, no, definitely.
Strange.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was in a little bit of a rough spot. Just job hunting is the worst thing. I'm not looking forward to it. Like, yeah, it's. But at the same time, it's just knowing people. So as soon as like my buddies were starting to like go, hey, do you need help? Because I was trying to do everything on my own, but once I accepted help, it was a lot easier because It's just those connections of like, I know this person, they usually can take my word. Let me introduce you to them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to rely on that, like when I get over to the States, because I don't even know where to start, to be honest. And I'm going like into a completely like fresh area. I have no idea if there's like really that many companies that will do the kind of stuff that I have knowledge about. So yeah, in general, I'm gonna have a whole interesting time trying to find a job when I move over.
I mean, you never know. You can have something that's completely out of your loop too, and they're just like, "Oh, we'd like that you did this, but let's just do this." And you're like, "Oh, well, okay."
Absolutely. And like, yeah, like you've got your warehouse job. I worked in a warehouse like 6 years ago, and it was a very fun job, and it was real relaxing, having like way less responsibility than the responsibilities I have now. And I'm just like, oh, I kind of want to go back to that kind of life and just like,
no, exactly. It's a warehouse that's totally different than like any job, because I've only worked in retail, and so like half the time, just like throughout the day, I'm just like, man, I'm just doing the same thing over and over. And then I think about my old jobs, and I'm like, then again, I could be doing like 20 different things at once on top of teaching people. Yeah. This isn't that bad, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, what have you been like chilling out and playing game-wise, or just
right now? It's been a lot of Mario Kart on the Switch. I have a couple buddies. We since one of my group friends switched over from Skype to Discord.
Yep.
I've been using them a lot, so we made like a room of just Mario Kart, and like usually probably 4 times a week we get up, get into voice chat, start playing that. But other than that, I beat God of War.
Awesome.
Which, not spoilers if you haven't played it in PlayStation.
Yeah. I haven't played it at all. So.
Yeah. It's one of those games that like everyone's like, oh, I have a PlayStation, what should I play? I'm recommending it along with The Last of Us. That Overwatch anniversary event's gonna drop next week, so I'm gonna be playing that. And awesome. I just started Rise of the Tomb Raider again. Just for the first time.
Oh, nice. I'm actually playing through that as well at the moment. I just got it on PC because it was like £12, and I was just like, oh, this is fun. I'm really liking it. It's good.
Is it?
But I'm finding there's like way too many side things to do.
Yeah, that's because I was like, oh, a lot of people are 100% God of War. Let's continue this 100% streak, Rise of the Tomb Raider. And I looked at the requirements for it, and I'm just like, oh, why? There's so much side like collectibles and side missions.
In Steam, there's 143 achievements for it.
Oh wow!
So I'm like, no, thank you.
Dang.
Yeah, so I kind of already decided I just want to get through the story, and then I might consider doing more if I'm really enjoying it. But well,
plus that new one's coming out September.
Yeah. Was it Wrath of the Tomb Raider? I don't want to say that.
Shadow, I think. Something Shadow.
Oh, let's have a look. I'm sure it's been released recently. I can't find it straight on the front page. So. Oh well, that's fine. But Shadow of the Tomb Raider, there it is. Yeah, that should be cool. Did you play the previous one? I think it was just called Tomb Raider.
Yeah, no, I did. I really liked that one, and which is why I was like really bummed out that Rise came to Xbox.
Yeah, it was Xbox exclusive for a year, and I was just like, oh, that just made me forget about it entirely. And then it was on sale on Steam, and I was just like, oh, I'll pick this up now.
Yeah, no, it came out for PS4, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing, and like all my hype just kind of disappeared because I was so let down. But I ended up getting it, and I'm finally playing it after a year having it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just need to get myself into actually playing it. Because
Yeah, no,
I'm just like, oh, there's other games, I'll just pick those up. And I'm just like, no, I just need to finish this game that I've started. But it's got a good story. I'm liking it so far. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, really, really, really enjoying it.
Nice.
But,
And then I take it you've also been introduced in that new Destiny expansion?
Oh man, the new Destiny expansion is alright. I don't want to say it's great, but at the same time they've made a lot of changes and it's a worthwhile game to play consistently. Which is what was lacking before. I think I stopped playing 2 weeks, maybe a week or two after the DLC came out. It must have been the second week after the first DLC came out. And then I was like, oh, I don't really know if I want to pick it up. I picked it up a few weeks before the DLC came out. The second DLC came out. When they'd adjusted the sandbox slightly. And then the exotic tuning came out with Warmind. Oh, no, the exotic tuning came out at another point as well. No, it didn't. Exotic tuning did come out with the second DLC. It's just they'd already amended like one of the weapons that I'm using a lot at the moment in the weapon balance pass, and that's kind of, and like with the new DLC they've got these like exotic missions that you have to go on, much like the first Destiny, that's multi-stage mission to get an awesome weapon at the end, and the game rewards you for investing time in it, which is what I was looking for in the first place anyway. So that's what was missing.
I think I might personally, I like the game and like what it had, like the idea of it, but I'm just, I think I'm a little bit over Destiny.
Fair enough. It's
just
absolutely
like,
understandable.
Like I understand, I can totally see why people love it and everything, but to me it's just like it's kind of repetitive, even with the DLC. Like they'll be, in my eyes, they're like, let's paint this DLC that we had so it looks different.
Yep.
But it still feels the same as the old DLCs. That's just my personal opinion. Then that's probably why I'm not gonna like play it. I still have the DLC, so I probably should play it because I invested money into it. But
I think it's gonna. I think if you enjoy going back to it weekly and doing the activities that are there for you, they're going to be the same every week, then that's great and you'll enjoy it. But if you're like, oh, I don't feel the need to play this every week to level up and do all that and keep up with the game, then it's not going to appeal to you in any way. It's the same as it's always been. So.
Like I definitely put the story the whole way through, and I thought it was a good game. Like, it improved what Destiny 1 wasn't. And I still own the game, so obviously I'm not. There's part of me that still wants to play it, but I mean, ironically, I'm like, I don't want to go back because it's just grinding, doing the same stuff over and over, and here I am playing Overwatch like every week, which that literally barely anything changes in that game, but it's just I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah, no, we've all got those games that we're just like, I'll just stick that on and play it for hours on end. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, Destiny 2 is that game for me at the moment. And yeah, I'm trying to play other games, but I just keep finding myself back on Destiny 2, and I'm just like, I've got all these other games I can play and I should play, but I'm just not playing them, so oh well. We'll see where this goes, but it'll probably lead to me down the road towards 1,000 hours again in Destiny 2.
Oh, of course. That's what took me so long to even start on Resident Tomb Raider, because I'm like, well, Overwatch. That's why I need to just be like, right, this morning I am playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. Or set aside time and be like, I'm playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, I'm not going to play Destiny 2. And I'm going to stick to that. Which is also another reason, like, when the internet's out, it sucks because you can't play those games, but then I'm like, well, that internet's out, so I have to play single player games if I want to play anything.
Yeah.
Boom.
Sorted. You've at least got some games to play. Awesome. Right. Shall we talk about Infinity War with a little bit of spoilers?
I will love to. I'll try to go as little spoilers. I'll be as vague as possible, unless if there's a segment where we can go into spoilers. But
yeah, let's just try and keep it to vague, general overthoughts, and then we'll go into spoilers for a few minutes, and then end the podcast. That sounds good.
That sounds perfect to me.
Excellent, cool. So, what did you make of the film?
I loved it. It was literally. My reactions were all over the place because you go in there and the premise of it is Thanos coming in, gonna wipe out half of the just living population, and so you go in there expecting either multiple ways. It could be like a movie where he gets half of the stones, and then the next, because it's a 2-part movie. Mm-hmm. So you could go like, oh, he's gonna get half, and the next one he's gonna get another half, and they're gonna stop him, or it could be like, or he could get all of them, blah blah. So you go in there having that, and it just literally tosses you over and over, like all over the place, because it surprises you, because you think you know something, and you get some parts of that thing true, but then you're like, I didn't see that thing coming. That like came out of my blind spot, and like at the same time. It was a very shocking and like emotional movie for me, at least, because I've been with these characters for 10 years. Yeah, they're like a family to me, like on a movie screen, and then all this stuff happening to them. You see like the legit look of fear in their eyes. Like every movie that's been coming up, you're like, oh, it's an Iron Man movie. Of course he's gonna win at this. It's a Spider-Man movie. Of course he's gonna win. Like it's Spider-Man. This is the one movie where I was like, anything could happen. Like, these characters could leave me and I can never see them again. And that's just having that feeling of not knowing what's going to happen and just not knowing anything was amazing. I've already saw it 3 times. I want to see it a minimum of 5 times in theaters.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I've only seen it once and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. There were... I don't know. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought there was some great parts to it. And yeah, I didn't really know where it was going, but it did feel cohesive and at like, what is it, 2 hours 45 minutes long?
Yeah, I think it was
It doesn't feel like it though. It doesn't feel like it when you're watching it. It just flows very nicely. And it feels like an hour 45, 2 hours has gone by, not however long the film is. It feels like less time because it's well paced, it's well put together. I can't think of a bad character interaction between any of the characters that like seemed unnecessary. And it was just it was great. I liked how they split up some of the teams as well, and just it was all together just a great time.
Another thing is that everyone was afraid of was like, oh well, how are you gonna give all these people like their like screen time, because there are some high actors in there like Robert Downey Jr., Benedict Cumberbatch, now Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, all Chris's. And it's like they all come in there and they don't feel forced. They all feel like they kind of just gradually introduce these characters. Some of them just came out of nowhere. Like I'll admit, like, I mean, we've seen it from the trailer, Spider-Man, how he's introduced. It's just he comes out of nowhere, but at the same time it doesn't feel forced. There's a reason why he's brought up in there, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. And just the interactions with the people, like one of my biggest biggest interactions I wanted to see was the Chris Pratt, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Robert Downey Jr. I was like, they're all snarky, like, characters. I want to see how they're with each other, and it just it felt really right. And the way to introduce them, you're like, it makes sense how to introduce, because like Thor is very like a powerful moment. Iron Man, he's doing Iron Man stuff, like trying to be not spoilers, but like Guardians, like it's a serious movie, and they pop up and it's like their themed soundtrack, and you're like, this totally fits them from the old Guardian movies, that classic 80s music.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the best Marvel film, my personal opinion.
Fair enough. I really enjoyed Thor Ragnarok, but I haven't rewatched either Thor Ragnarok or Infinity War, so jury's out on that for the time being. But
that's fair.
We'll see what happens with that, but yeah. Okay, let's go into spoiler chat, because, I don't know, there's a few things that I guess need to be raised. That,
do you want to do it for X amount of time?
We'll do it until the end of the episode, which should be 3 or 4 minutes, I reckon. Okay. So, yeah, it's not going to be... It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's only until the end of the episode, so it's... whatever. Okay, spoiler time. Let's go.
Perfect.
Okay. So, what spoilers stuff should we talk about? Who's your favourite character in it, and, why did they, what story arc did you,
I have two. I really like Spider-Man and Iron Man. Mm-hmm. I just love... At first, as a character, Iron Man, I had no interest, and I will admit I am a RDJ fan. He made Iron Man for me. Whenever I see or read the Iron Man comic book now, I'm thinking of Robert Downey Jr. and how he portrays him.
Yeah.
Tom Holland did an amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite hero from Marvel.
Okay.
And them whole Spider-Man wanting to just go, hey, I want to help. This is a serious situation. Him not knowing how serious it is though, and Iron Man being no, I don't want you to, because he sees him as his they have a father-son mentor-student relationship.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to look out for him, and you see that in Spider-Man Homecoming too. But that scene when Spider-Man leaves, all 3 times. The first time, I was really choked up, how he was disappearing. The second time, and third time, I got teary-eyed just because of how well they did that scene of him leaving. And it's someone pointed out, they're oh, Spider-Man takes a little bit longer to disappear, and someone in the comments was that's because his healing factor is trying to regenerate him. So it's prolonging his disappearing. I was oh, that hurts even more.
Yeah,
because he's suffering that much longer.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
What about you?
I really enjoyed Thor's story, going to the Dwarven Star to forge a new weapon. I really, really enjoyed where that went, and I loved when Thor turned up on the Guardian's ship, and Chris Pratt just started doing his dumb voice to match Thor's, and it was amazing. It's the funniest scene. It was just quality.
If you ever need, and this could be just me, but if you ever need a motivation to work out, watch any of the Marvel superhero movies that has the main character shirtless.
Yeah.
Because after I see that, I'm just I really should start working out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's there was just funny bits as well throughout, the Guardian story as well.
Yeah.
When what was it? When Gamora gets taken, and Drax is there, and they're just where is Gamora? Who is Gamora? And then Drax is why is Gamora? It's oh my god!
For how serious of a character that guy is, he is easily one of the funniest characters.
Oh yeah, handily.
Especially with Mantis, giving him a little bit of compliment, the whole he's mastered the art of standing so still, and it's just
yeah.
I'm so still that I'm invisible, and Mantis just comes out as hey Drax, and you can see the look at the feet in his eyes, just damn it.
It was so funny. Oh, it's ludicrous, but yeah. No, I thought Thor's interactions with he went with Rocket and Groot, didn't he? To the star, and yeah, that was awesome. I really like that story, but yeah, like I said, Ragnarok's probably my favorite.
A lot of people are saying this movie didn't have any character growth, which I say that's false, because going back to your favorite was Thor, Rocket, and Groot, there's multiple character growths. Rocket's when he's talking to Thor, he's all right, I gotta be a captain now. he's learning from Peter, going, hey, sometimes you have to listen to their problems. And on the opposite side, you have Thor, who's literally lost his family, his home, his best friend, his eye, his hammer, his brother, like everything. And he's still like trying to find a way to smile, because he's like, I'm the only one who can do this, and if he's upset and sad, no one's gonna be able to do it. And then Groot, who's just been this annoying little brat throughout the whole movie, at the very end's like, all right, you know what, this is serious. Let's help this dude out.
Yeah, and then Thor like makes the sacrifice to try and keep the eye open as well, so that they can actually forge for enough time. And, like, it's just like, oh my god, like he's actually potentially sacrificing himself to forge a weapon.
That line of like,
save them.
Doing that will kill you. He's like, then I'll die trying. Yeah, that's what killing you does. It's like, I was just like so jokes that they're not even trying to do was just hilarious, because it was just like he was being dead serious. He's like, then I'll die trying, and he's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's why Thor's one of my favourite characters. He's just like oblivious to like other meanings and just says the wrong things. Oh, it's class. Anyway, yeah, cool. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that Thanos, and like they resolved the story of Thanos getting all of the stones for the glove. So yeah, it was interesting.
At the same time, speaking of Thanos, they did such a good way of like, you feel for him, you understand his whole like why he's doing it and everything, which is why I rank him at top of one of my top villains, because a good villain, like I'll use Black Panther as an example. Killmonger, everyone loved him, but the reason why I think he was such a good villain is he made T'Challa realize his goal, and T'Challa's like, you're actually right, you're 100% right, but the way he went about it was wrong. And the same thing with Thanos. It's like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, you're right, it has proven to be better for a planet to wipe out the half of their population, but doesn't mean the way he's going about it is right. And you feel for him, you see the fear of it in his eyes of when he has to lose Gamora, and like he really cares about her. I mean, yeah, he was a jerk to her whole life and tortured her, but he loved her.
So it was, it's gonna be, the next film's gonna be interesting. I'm not
definitely.
I'm not sure where they're gonna go with it. I don't want to say I have an idea. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I have some theories, because like you could totally tell that the Guardians are gonna come back because of their third movie. You can have those things of like, oh, this character signed on for this movie, so you know they're coming back. But there's also some characters that we don't know. Are they going to have another movie?
Like, how are they going to get to the end of the movie? Like,
exactly.
That's the interesting part. Like, oh yeah, we know most of the characters are going to come back, but how are they going to come back, and what's going to happen? And then the sting that we've got Captain Marvel coming as well. So
yeah, and there, like I was saying, there's the actors who don't have or at least release their contract for what's coming up. So it's like, okay, well, those characters, which is over half, you're like, they could possibly are out, and so that fear of like anyone could still die is still there. It's gonna be interesting.
Cool. Well, Derek, where can we find you across the internet?
You could probably find me on Twitter at Dr. Harris, DrHairz, all one word.
Awesome. Cool. Where can I be found across the internet? Probably at Destroy Topham or at Etherfar. That's YTHAFAR. That's like on your Twitters and your Instagrams. Cool. This has been the Easily Excitable podcast. Thank you, Derek, for joining me this week.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Have an exciting week. Goodbye.
Have a marvelous day.